You can probably remember, in perfect detail, that one thing you said 5 years ago that made someone go quiet. The tone of your voice, the look on their face, maybe even the shirt you were wearing. Now try to remember the last time someone complimented you. Struggling? That's not a coincidence. That's not low self-esteem either. It's not a personality flaw, and it's definitely not just how you are. It's your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. Because somewhere inside your skull, there are two separate filing systems. One stores your failures, like they're evidence in a trial. The other stores your wins, like they're junk mail. And today, we're going to open both of them up. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't a metaphor. Scientists have actually found the physical location where this happens. And once you see it, you'll never look at your own mistakes the same way again. Let's start with a situation you already know. It's midnight, you're lying in bed, and your brain decides, uninvited, to replay the time you tripped in front of your entire class, or sent that email to the wrong person, or said something awkward at a party 3 years ago. Meanwhile, the promotion you got last month, the friend who told you that you're one of the kindest people they know, gone, filed away somewhere you can't reach. So here's the question worth asking. Why does your brain treat a single embarrassing moment like it deserves a permanent front row seat in your memory, while 100 good things quietly disappear? The answer starts with something psychologists call the negativity bias. It's the simple, brutal rule that bad experiences affect us more deeply than good ones, even when they're the exact same size. Losing $50 hurts more than finding $50 feels good. A single criticism can outweigh 10 compliments. That's not you being dramatic. That's your default wiring. And this wiring is ancient. Your brain wasn't built for comment sections and comparison. It was built for survival on an open savanna where the cost of ignoring a threat was death, and the cost of ignoring a reward was just a missed snack. So your ancestors, who obsessed over danger, lived. The relaxed, carefree ones, statistically, didn't get to pass on their genes. You inherited the anxious one's brain. Congratulations. What most people don't realize is that this isn't just a mindset. It's physically built into your brain's structure. Researchers at MIT, led by neuroscientist Susumu Tonegawa, discovered something remarkable. Inside a part of your brain called the amygdala, memories aren't just floating around randomly. They're sorted into two completely separate neighborhoods. One region handles fear, pain, and failure. Scientists even found a specific gene called ARSPA2 that only shows up in this bad memory zone. The other region handles reward, pleasure, and success, marked by a different gene entirely, one connected to dopamine, your brain's feel-good chemical. These two systems don't cooperate. They compete, like a seesaw. When one side lights up, the brain actively suppresses the other, which means when you're spiraling over a mistake, your brain isn't just remembering it. It's actively silencing your ability to access anything good at the exact same time. That's not sabotage. That's architecture. Think about the last time you got feedback at work. Your manager says 10 things. 9 of them are good. 1 is a small correction. Which one do you replay on your drive home? You already know the answer. That single correction sits in your head for days, gets rehearsed in the shower, gets replayed before you fall asleep. The 9 compliments? They vanish somewhere between the meeting room and the parking lot. Not because they were less true, because your brain's reward neighborhood never got the same urgent signal to lock them in. This is why just think positive advice tends to fail. You're not fighting a bad habit. You're fighting a seesaw wired into your amygdala, one side rigged to win by default. But here's the twist that makes this even stranger. It's not that your brain forgets your successes because they don't matter. It's that your brain never fully saved them in the first place. Neuroscientist James McGaugh spent decades studying how memories get locked in permanently. And what he found was that emotional intensity, specifically stress, is the trigger. When you're embarrassed or afraid, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol. Cortisol acts like a biological save button, physically strengthening the connections in your brain tied to that moment. Your failures come with a built-in cortisol spike. Your quiet, comfortable wins usually don't, so your brain, quite literally, never hits save on them. Now something surprising happens. This isn't just one theory. Psychologist Roy Baumeister studied this pattern so thoroughly, he summarized it in 4 words that became famous in psychology. Bad is stronger than good. He found 4 specific patterns. Losses feel more intense than equivalent gains. The fear of failing grows faster than the excitement of succeeding, the closer you get to either. In unclear situations, your brain defaults to assuming the worst. And negative emotions come with more words, more nuance, more mental real estate, because your brain needs precision to categorize different types of danger. There's another layer here that explains why the memory of your mistake feels so vivid, almost cinematic, while your successes feel vague and generic. Negative memories get stored as high-fidelity, sensory experiences. You don't just remember that you were embarrassed. You remember the smell of the room, the exact words. Researchers call this effect NEVER, and it means your brain treats emotional pain like a 5-star recording, while treating your wins like a blurry photo taken by accident. Worse, negative moments crowd out everything around them. In psychology, this is called emotional context maintenance. When something bad happens, your focus narrows so sharply that everything neutral around it simply gets deleted from memory. That's why you remember the mistake, but not the 20 normal, fine, unremarkable moments that happened the same day. This changes everything about how you should think about your own memory. You are not choosing to dwell on your failures. You were never given equal storage space to begin with. And here's the deeper layer most people never reach. This bias doesn't just shape memory, it shapes identity. If your brain is quietly stockpiling every mistake in high definition, while your wins evaporate, over time you start to believe the mistakes are simply who you are. Not because they're more true, because they're more remembered. That's the real tragedy hiding underneath this science. You're not a more flawed person than everyone else. You just have a more efficient filing system for flaws. There's another layer most people don't realize. This same bias doesn't just distort how you see your past, it distorts how you approach your future. Because when your brain has a vivid, high-definition archive of every past mistake, and only a faint, half-erased memory of your wins, it starts making decisions on rigged data. It quietly nudges you toward the safe choice, the smaller risk, the opportunity you don't take, simply because the memory of failing feels so much more real than the memory of succeeding ever did. So what do you actually do with this? Psychologists studying resilience found something called the positivity ratio. For every 1 moment of stress or failure your brain fixates on, you need roughly 3 moments of deliberate, acknowledged positivity to balance it out, not to erase the bad, just to give your brain a fighting chance at remembering the good. There's a technique from psychologist Rick Hanson, sometimes called HEAL. When something good happens, don't just notice it and move on. Stay with it. For 10-15 seconds, actually let yourself feel it, in detail, the same way your brain automatically does with embarrassment. That deliberate lingering is what finally gives a positive memory the same kind of intensity your failures get for free. Because the goal was never to stop remembering your mistakes. Mistakes are useful, they're data. The goal is to stop letting one broken filing system decide what you believe about yourself. You're not someone who only fails and rarely succeeds. You're someone whose brain was built thousands of years ago to protect you from lions, not to give you an accurate account of your own worth. Next time you catch yourself replaying a mistake at midnight, try asking one question. Not why did I do that, but what good thing happened today that I haven't let myself feel yet. That single shift won't rewrite your evolutionary wiring, but it might finally get your wins the storage space they've always deserved. You'll still remember the mistakes. You're supposed to. But maybe, for the first time, the good moments get to stay too, sitting right next to them, instead of disappearing without a fight.